Everybody. If you're brand new to this to the webinar, so I'm Simon Cohen. I am the co-founder and the admissions director of the Aardvark Israel programs. If you've been with us for the last two presentations, thanks very much. Now I'm going to present to you our flagship program, the Aardvark Israel Gap Year or Semester program. So please bear with me as I share my screen and we'll get going. I have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to talk rather quickly, and then if you have questions, we can certainly talk about them at the end. The Aardvark Israel program is a gap year and semester program for Jewish students aged 17 to 21. We offer different length programs. It's a very customizable program. The idea is that you can pick and choose from the menu of opportunities we offer and build the version of the program that works best for you. And that starts with the length of time you come for. We have a semester option, which is 4.5 months, and you can either live in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. We have a 7.5-month option, which includes working in an American Jewish summer camp as a madrich or a madricha, a counselor. And if you want to, you can come back and do a full 11.5-month experience with us and come back and be in the city that you weren't already in. So you have 3 options of programs, of 4.5, 7, or 11.5-month programs. If you do the full year, you get to be in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Those are two very different cities. You get 2 very different experiences by being in each of those cities. And they sandwich this amazing experience in an American Jewish summer camp, which I'll talk about towards the end. So in terms of our location, we are based smack bang in the middle of Tel Aviv and smack bang in the middle of Jerusalem. You can see here Jerusalem, we're very near Machane Yehuda, the market, the shuk. Very near downtown Jerusalem, Ben Yehuda Street, in that area, and we're also only about a 10 to 12-minute walk away from the old city of Jerusalem, which is a really unique opportunity to live so close to the old city of Jerusalem and in Jerusalem in general. Jerusalem's an amazing city. People think of it as this religious, holy, spiritual place, which it is. But when you live here, you get to see this, vibrant, exciting, young society that's also, bursting at the seams to really have a great time, and people love living here, and it's really full of surprises. In Tel Aviv, we're based in the Florentine neighborhood. It's about a 10-minute walk to the ocean, to the beach, basically. And it's in the center of the action. Florentine is one of the greatest neighborhoods in Israel for young people. In the day, it's the heart of the spice market, and it's full of bars, restaurants, cafes, and everything you could possibly imagine. It's a really, obviously another great location. In terms of our apartments, they are nice, fully furnished, fully equipped apartments. Our goal is that you become young, independent adults in our program, that you learn life skills, how to cook, how to clean, how to budget, how to do your own grocery shopping, how to do your own laundry. It's very much, a gap year is about learning these life skills and becoming a young, independent adult. So you're living in these fully furnished, fully equipped apartments. We are not a coercive program, so we have apartments that are kosher and Shomer Shabbat, apartments that are kosher but not Shomer Shabbat, and apartments that are not kosher, not Shomer Shabbat. So you really have, an opportunity to live comfortably in your apartment, which is your home. In terms of the student population, this is a great opportunity to break out of the Australian bubble. In fact, break out of the Southern Hemisphere bubble, because our students are coming from all over the world in our program. And it's a really great opportunity for you to come and live with young Jewish students from all over the world. So imagine, you come on our program, you're living in an apartment, and there's you from Sydney, Australia, and you're living with a kid from Sao Paulo, another kid from Rio de Janeiro, kid from New York, kid from London, and a kid from, Antwerp. When else in your life are you ever going to get to do something like that? And it's a great opportunity, again, to live with young Jewish students from all over the world whilst you're on our program. In terms of the program itself, the core program is split into kind of 3 main categories: internships and volunteering, which take up the bulk of the day on a Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Different types of classes, which take place also Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, first thing in the morning, or Monday and Wednesday afternoons if you want it to. And field trips and seeing Israel, which take place both Tuesdays throughout the entire day, and the evenings as different cultural and social events are going on as well to help you get to know Israel. I will also mention at this point that the weekends in Israel start on Thursday night and go through to Sunday morning. So it's basically Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Shabbat. Weekends on our program are predominantly free. That is your opportunity to explore Israel, visit friends, visit family, travel around. We do have a couple of Shabbotonim which you're invited to, and we have a couple of optional Shabbotonim which you can choose to sign up to if you want to, but it's really up to you whether or not you want to. To go into a little bit more detail, something that makes us really unique is our internship and volunteer program. In each of our cities, we have over 100 options to choose from. And it's a really great opportunity for you to pick something you're passionate about, you're excited about, and have a meaningful and enjoyable experience whilst being immersed in Israeli society, using and practicing your Hebrew, making Israeli friends, and at the same time, building up your resume, your CV, getting some professional development, some career development, and trying out some different potential careers that you maybe are interested in already, or it's an opportunity to do something you have never had the opportunity before and will never have the opportunity to do again. Whilst you're on our program, we have the opportunity to work in schools, kindergartens, old age homes, hospitals, soup kitchens. You can volunteer in old age homes, soup kitchens with victims of terror, African refugees. If you like animals, you can be in a zoo, in the aquarium, therapeutic riding center, animal shelter. Alternatively, if you want to take the more internship kind of route, you can be in high-tech startup companies, political think tanks, NGOs, TV, radio, newspaper. We have internships in law firms, architect firms, with fashion designers, with jewelry designers. You name it, we have it. And the idea is you pick something that you're really going to enjoy, that you're really going to be passionate about, have a really meaningful experience there. And there is, I don't believe there's any other gap year program for 18, 19-year-olds that give you the opportunity to volunteer or intern in places of this caliber for an extensive period of time like this. We also have classes going on. Everyone on the program is doing Ulpan. We have lots of different levels to cater to the different levels of the program. We want everyone to learn about Israel, so we have different Israel electives. And beyond that, it's up to you. We have more Israel classes. We have more Jewish studies classes. We have secular style classes like psychology, business, politics, depending on what city you're based in. And we have non-academic style activities like spoken Arabic, yoga, a fitness training course, yoga, creative art, creative writing, professional development workshops, all sorts of things like that as well. And you pick which you do and how much you do and how intentional you make that part of the program. Every Tuesday, we're doing field trips all over Israel. Now, most of our students have been to Israel many times before. So what we want to do is take you off the beaten track to what we like to call the hidden gems of Israel, those secret places that tourists don't know about. Even Israelis don't get to the places we go to. And that's every single week of the program. We're taking you to some amazing places in and around Israel. It's a really great opportunity to see Israel. Plus, 3 times per semester, we do longer trips where we spend a few days in the Golan Heights, the Galil, the Negev Desert, we do Dain Desert, we do a kibbutz seminar. So you really get to see the length and breadth of Israel whilst you're on our program. Every evening, there's activities going on. Some are optional and some are mandatory. They include an apartment meeting once a week, which is our time to check in with you, make sure you're happy on the program, making sure that you are getting on with each other in an apartment. Your apartment is a clean and hygienic place to live and is not an absolute pigsty. And just making sure everything's going smoothly in your apartment and in the program in general. We also have something called the Faces of Israel program, which is our opportunity to expose you to Israeli society and culture and politics. And we do that through guest speakers, through trips to the theatre, concerts, sports events, art exhibits, street festivals, etc., etc. Aside from that, we have a campus rabbi running all sorts of Jewish learning activities throughout the week on both campuses for those who are interested. And our madrachim are running more social group bonding activities like paintballing, rock climbing, a hummus making workshop, graffiti workshop, Israeli film night. There's always something going on. It's up to you whether or not you choose to come. And as I said before, on the weekend is your time to do your thing. That's the core program. If you want to customize your experience even further, then you can choose from our different special interest and international travel add-ons. On our program, we offer 6 different trips throughout the year to different countries around the world. Each country is for 5 or 6 days. In the first semester, we go to Ethiopia, Italy, and Germany. And the second semester, Spain, Czech Republic, and China. In each of those countries, we're going to see the main tourist sites and experience of the culture of that country, whether that's the Great Wall of China, the Colosseum in Rome, a Barcelona soccer game in Spain, or flamenco dancing, whatever it is, we're going to see those amazing places. We're a Jewish educational program. We want to understand the Jewish narrative in each of these countries, and we do that by interacting with the local Jewish communities, meeting both Jewish leaders and Jewish students as well. And because we're a Zionist program, we do a seminar in the Israeli embassy in each of these countries as well. So we usually meet the ambassador and we get to do a seminar with him to understand Israel's place in the world, Israel's relationship with that country. And the more countries you go to, you get to understand Israel's place in the world and Israel's place in the international community. You can choose 1 trip, 4 trips, 6 trips, as many trips, or no trips, as many trips as you like. The rest of the program is still going on. Obviously, this part of the program is very subject to what's going on in the world with COVID-19. We cannot control that. But if we are allowed to and able to run the trips and there's no quarantine needed, then we will certainly be looking forward to do that. A little bit different from that, for those who are interested, we run a 2-week volunteer program in Nepal, living in a Himalayan mountain village with no running water, no electricity, there aren't even real toilets. And we volunteer wherever the village needs us to volunteer, whether that's building greenhouses, irrigation ditches, painting schools, whatever it is, we do whatever the village needs to do. It's a very pure form of volunteering. And at the same time, we do some trekking in the foothills of the Himalayas. We see a bit of Kathmandu, and we really get a Nepalese experience as well. Very different from that, again, is our Poland experience, which is learning all about the 1,000 years of Jewish history in Europe and Poland specifically up to the Second World War and its eventual destruction in the Second World War, going to all different types of camps and pits and all the devastation that entailed. We'll also be spending a little bit of time looking at the rebirth of the Jewish community and Israel's connection to Poland by a trip to the embassy as well. Different from that again is our special interest programs. In Israel, we have different special interest programs allowing you to get more activities in something that you're passionate about whilst you're on your gap year in Israel. So, for example, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, in Israel as a startup nation, in learning about business and things like that. So we have all sorts of entrepreneurship activities happening in our first semester in Tel Aviv. There's different workshops, guest speakers, and field trips, all to do with entrepreneurship in Israel. We have a sea sports add-on in the second semester in Tel Aviv as well. You can do Marvan, which is 2 months basic training in the Israeli army. And you can do Magen David Adom, which is volunteering on the Israeli ambulances. You do a 10-day training course, and provided you pass that course, you then get to volunteer for 4 shifts a week. Each shift is 8 hours for a minimum of 6 weeks. And you can do, the entire semester if you enjoy it and if they like you whilst on our program. Our other special interest add-on is called the Extreme Program. And it's for those people who love extreme sports and activities and really need their adrenaline fix whilst on their gap year program. And so in the first semester in Jerusalem, once a week, we take you for different unbelievably cool activities, whether it's, jumping out of planes, hopefully with parachutes, whether it is rappelling down giant cliffs, doing ATVing, crazy, amazing, wonderful things like that, most of which I'm too scared to do, if I'm honest. And then once a week, we have 1 week per month, we have different courses. We have a scuba course for a week. We have a surfing course. We have a week of agricultural challenges and work with the Shomer Chadash, which is an agricultural movement in the north of Israel. And the Nepal trip is also part of this experience too. Finally, we have our Stellar Jewish Enrichment track, which is for those people who love the idea of our program but want more opportunities for Jewish learning and spiritual growth on our program. Once a week, they'll have Beit Midrash style learning, which is all different types of classes going on, whether it's text-based or question and answer sessions, whether it's Machshavit Yisrael, Torah, Tanakh, whatever it is, there's all sorts of different classes going on, including an individual mentoring program. Once a week, we have what I like to call the Living Midrash program, which is saying it's all well and good coming to Israel, but if you're in a classroom all day long learning, you're missing the whole point of being in Israel, because in Israel, you can learn by doing. And so once a week, we do different Jewish experiential learning, whether it's Tiulim, hikes connected to stories in the Tanakh, whether it's different Jewish workshops. Not everybody connects to Judaism through Jewish texts and shiurim and lectures and rabbis. So we have a Jewish film workshop, a Jewish photography workshop, a Jewish dance workshop, Jewish art workshop, biblical culinary workshop, so on and so forth. You get the idea. We have all different activities around the Jewish festivals right now, Siyur Slichot, Shuk Kaparot, Shuk Avdim, etc., etc. And we have different unique Jewish trips. My favorite is going diving for Tchelet. Tchelet is, we're told in the third paragraph of the Shema that one of the strings of our tzitzit should be the color of Tchelet, and that's found in the Chilazon, which is a sea snail. So we take you diving in the Mediterranean to find these sea snails, and we take you through this whole process how you get from the sea snail to this blue dye on the string of tzitzit. A really unique experience. And then once a month, the Stellar program has different Shabbat experiences in and around different communities in Israel, whether it's in Jerusalem, Sfat, Tiberias, or religious moshav, religious kibbutz, religious or settlement, or all sorts of different experiences like that. Every Shabbat is a really different and unique experience as well. Finally, I mentioned it before, but we also have the opportunity to work in an American Jewish summer camp in the months of June, July, and August. You spend a couple of extra weeks in Israel, then we fly you to New York and do a 3-day tour of New York City, 3-day tour of Washington, D.C., And then we've paired up with NJY Camps, the largest Jewish summer camp in America and probably the world. They have over 5,000 campers and over 1,000 staff members spread over 7 camps in the Poconos, which is in Pennsylvania. There's loads, you can choose which camp you do. There's loads of jobs to choose from, and it's a really special, powerful, and meaningful experience as well. I've sent off my contact details are both here. You can take a picture of it, and they are also in the chat box as well. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and just mention that in terms of COVID-19, obviously that's something that's dominating the world right now and obviously dominating our programs as well. We've been running programs successfully since February when the pandemic broke out. We've had anywhere from 50 to almost 200 people on the program during the pandemic, and we have run the program successfully since that started. We just brought in a couple of weeks ago 175 people into the country for our current semester. Most of them are currently in quarantine, so we know what that's all about. We've had people suspected with corona, we've had people with corona, and we've dealt with it all successfully. We've kept everybody healthy and safe and secure. And we've got, 6, 7, 8 months experience now dealing with corona with large numbers of people. And we'll do whatever we have to do to run a meaningful program, whilst also keeping the students safe and healthy. And I'm happy to answer any more questions you have. So I'm going to start answering questions now from Josh. Can you do both volunteering and volunteer and internship programs whilst, or could you have to choose one? You can do both. Obviously, if you come for the year, it's easier to do 1 semester of volunteering and 1 semester of internships. We do allow people with certain placements to do 2 days in one and 2 days in the other. So you can do both. The best way to do that though is to do both semesters with us and stay for the entire year. But it is possible, yes. Does your program run according to the American school year? It does, but it also runs according to the Australian school year as well. So we have every year we have anywhere from 15 to 20 Australians on the program. That number is growing all the time. And that's why we have an intake in January time, which is usually the Australian summer and goes through until December. And you can choose to come January to May, January to August, or January to December. So those answered those 2 questions. Does anybody have any other questions for me right now? I'm happy to answer any other questions you have. There are Massa grants available for our program. Our semester option, which is the 4.5-month program, is $12,740, and then you can minus the Massa grant. If you do the camp experience, it's $13,740, and the full gap year is $21,500 US, and obviously they're all available. Massa grants are available for all of those. Somebody just asked me, hold on, chat, it's not opening. Can you clarify that people can also join? Yes, and you're welcome to join in the August. We have an intake in August, September time. So if you're worried about committing to come in August, if you're worried about committing to come in January, you're welcome to come in our August, September intake as well. You can also sign up now and pay a deposit to hold your space for now. And if you see that you're unable to come, you can push that deposit to the August, September intake. So either way, you won't lose the money. We've got a couple more questions. Where do most of the Australian people come from? A significant number of students come from Sydney, a few from Melbourne and Perth as well. We've had from all 3 of those cities. Our biggest is probably Sydney, if I'm honest, but we've had from all 3 of those cities. And we continue to grow, and we'd happy to take any more from any of the other cities or places, and we're always looking to grow. So thank you very much for your time. It's somebody else's go in like 1 minute, so I want to thank everybody. Please be in touch with us. My contact details are in the chat. You're welcome to contact us. And I look forward to hearing from you all and to having many Australians on the program. Oh, there's one more question. What is the cost of the additional overseas? Oh, there's loads of questions. What's the cost of the additional overseas trips? It depends which trips you choose and how many you choose. The one trip is $2,300 US, and then it goes up according to how many trips you choose, but it goes up less the amount of the each trip you choose. Is there kosher food available on the overseas options? Yes, there is kosher food available on the overseas options. And how long can you defer your place for? I'm not sure what that means exactly, Daniela. But if you sign up now and choose to defer, you can either come in January or you can come in August. Those are our 2 intakes. I hope that answered your question. If not, please be in direct contact with us. I don't want to take any more time because it's somebody else's go, but I'm happy, Daniela, to answer your question when you have time. Thank you all very much. Thank you to Massa for hosting us and for inviting me to be a part of this. And I'll let somebody else have a go now. Bye-bye for now. Bye, Sarit. Bye, Josh. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Simon. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.